3 to about 6 or 7.
It's not about what you're capable of. It's about what you're willing to do.
Young Aaron Nagler have wanted a Raven to ride his bike.
100%, absolutely. But I will say, props to Arm because he owns it, right? He's a diehard, and he is like completely in his feelings for why he doesn't want a Raven touching his bike.
Now, please welcome from Cheesehead TV, Aaron Nagler and Bill Schmid.
And that's powerful stuff.
Carry the G Radio coming at you live. Aaron Nagler live from New York City. Bill Schmid making things happen. All sorts of magic happening there at the iHeart Metroplex. Billy, how the hell are you, man?
Well, I haven't burned the studio down officially, Nags. I did cause a shockwave and a little bit of an electric factory earlier on today. All the lights went out in the studio, so I'm a menace to society on this board. But I'm doing fantastic.
I would have it no other way. Let me tell you, we got a lot to talk about, Bill. Look, we got to address it. We got to talk about this loss to the Bears, the first one in 12 outings. I guess, every once in a while, I guess you give the Bears credit. Yes, they came in, let it all hang out, calling trick plays on special teams, try to call another trick play. But, ultimately, they came in to win the game, and the Packers seemed somewhat rudderless. And that was my biggest issue.
That's a great word. With
the whole afternoon. It's spent all week hearing about how they were going to play to win, and we're going to try and build momentum to head into the playoffs. And then it just felt kind of, I guess we're kind of playing to win, and then we're pulling guys. And then obviously Jordan got hurt, and then it felt like an exhibition almost. And they still had a chance to win the game at the end, and both sides of the ball, coaching staff wise, took turns screwing it up. So I don't know what they were trying to accomplish on Sunday, Billy.
Yeah, it's a strange feeling. It was a strange amount of the conversation and the messaging was different, it felt like, throughout the entire week. However, now we do get to wipe the slate clean and get into a new season, which actually might be the best time for it. And the way that I've looked at it, Aaron, is this is going to be a different spot for the 2024 Packers, because it's the first time I think that people are going to doubt them somewhat, because they've been the team nobody's wanted to face all year long. And now a little bit of extra motivation going into the postseason.
Well, I will say some of the greatest moments of my football fandom throughout the history of my life have been when the entire world has counted out the Green Bay Packers.
Amen.
And then they shock everyone. And hey, that's a great place to live. If we get to that end of that game on Sunday and everyone in the world is shocked at the performance of the Green Bay Packers after a big playoff victory, I got no issues living in that world.
No, that's the world that I'm trying to live in. That's the world that I'm wanting to live in right now and manifesting it, which is a big part of this deal, right? It's all about manifesting. And when we manifest here on Cheesehead TV and Carry the G Radio, a lot of times we manifest right into a conversation with AJ Dillon, Packers running back. How about that? With a gorgeous backdrop here today. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm just out here in Door County right now. It's fantastic.
Clearly. Obvious. AJ, how are you, man? How you doing on this Tuesday?
I'm doing well, man. The sun is shining. It's a beautiful day in Wisconsin, and couldn't ask for better weather.
I mean, I don't know how you felt about that game on Sunday, but it's how hard is it to kind of flush it, as Matt has said? It's interesting to hear him say that almost immediately after the game. We got to flush it. Is that easy to do? I mean, I don't know the mindset it takes to come off of a performance like that as a collective, as a team, right? And say, okay, that's completely over with. It doesn't have any residual effects heading into this great challenge on Sunday.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's super easy to do. It's human nature. You know what you got ahead of you. You look back, human nature to be like, oh man, we just lost this one against a team that we definitely should have beat. But I do think it's one of those where if you're trying to find a silver lining, no one likes to lose, especially not to the Bears. First time I've ever even seen that. But I will say, if you're looking for the silver lining, it's like, all right, maybe this is a refocuser. Maybe this is, okay, like, yes, all of our starters weren't playing. We weren't really 100% really, we knew what we had coming next week. We know we had to play a game. And that was their Super Bowl. But I will say you can learn from that, like, because we should have won regardless of who we have on the field. We always play to win. That's a fact. And I do think that it's kind of one of those where you can be like, all right, well, we can lose. And from here on out, we have to win every game. So how do we make this not happen again for the next 4 games?
There you go. 4 games, four wins, and you end as the best team in football, right? Like I think that's one of the funniest parts of how the messaging always is around the NFL. And the team has been in media circles, as I joked about, like the team nobody wants to face, the team that's everyone's underdog, the sleeping giant that could be. More than anything, this is the first game that it's felt like you guys, as you mentioned, a one that should be a W that isn't. And being a team that last year won a lot of games that maybe people didn't expect you to win, right? The Kansas City game and the Detroit game. You mentioned refocusing and a conversation after the game that apparently happened in the locker room with some players. Is that refocusing a lot of just reaffirming that you are the talented team that you know that you have been throughout the year? Or is it fellas, this stuff can happen if our P's and Q's are not always at 100%?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit, I guess you can say some positive affirmations and all that stuff, but I think, that's just kind of surface. I think it's really, the messaging is really just accountability. And obviously nobody needs to be superhuman, do your 111th, all that good stuff, football talk and sports talk, but really the opportunities like this don't come around all that much. And to get to there was a very good Bengals team that is not in the playoffs.
Right.
To get here is very hard, and we're very fortunate, and we have a great opportunity in front of us. It doesn't matter what seed you are. Doesn't matter. You got to buy. You still got to play games, and if you lose, you go home whenever you lose. And there's only going to be one winner at the end of it. So I think a lot of the messaging in there was really just like, hey, this is a special team. We got a special group. But there's other teams that got special teams and special groups. And if you play like we played the other day, we'll just be going home. And so I don't think anybody wants to go home. I think everybody knows what we have in that locker room. They love playing for the Packers. They love this team. And they want to go ahead and play for the Packers another, I guess it's 5 weeks because you get a bye there before the Super Bowl. But they want to keep going out there and playing and, finish this thing off the right way.
I do have to ask, because it's weird to watch that game on Sunday with some guys up, some guys dealing with injuries. Obviously, you lose Christian, which is a major blow, and then Jordan goes down. You get, obviously Willis coming in, etc. Kind of the in and out nature of the roster and everything that was going on leading up to that game, coming off the loss in Minnesota.
Yep.
I'm just wondering, is it difficult to focus on whatever the task is at hand, knowing that the result isn't that important? Because I know, obviously, there's some scoreboard watching going on. The Commanders game was kind of back and forth, etc. And Matt admitted he was cognizant of it, right? Is that difficult, though, knowing that, okay, we're going out there and, yeah, we're playing a game of football, but is it difficult to focus because, yeah, you just said it, we're going on the road. We know we're not going to be back here at Lambeau. Whatever's ahead of us is ahead of us regardless of this outcome.
Yeah, I think, and I always forget, I always mess up this quote, but you're talking about the result, the result. I think, and this might not be exactly how it's worded, but there's action focus and there's result focus, outcome focus, however you want to word that. I think the biggest thing with that, and like you said, everybody being up, you can't be result focused. You can't think of, okay, you need to focus on your action because it's another ability to get better at your craft. Like the game of football is not, you're not at the office and, nobody's going to see that you forgot to fax in something a little early. Like, yeah, somebody might dock you for it, but instead of just one person, everybody's seeing it. And every other team you might want to play for, or the team you want to stay on, they're all seeing it. And so each one of those actions is under a microscope. And so you can't think of the outcome or, oh, well, this game is, not important. I think everybody goes out there and focused. It's just about being accountable on right here, right now. Don't think ahead, because and the reality is, people talk about teams tanking and trying to get the first pick. All those guys are not necessarily on that team the next year. They're doing an audition and they're putting their best actions out there to get to another team and continue to play football. So I do think that's not the situation that we're in. But I think, to your point, trying to stay action focused in a game like that is a big key.
It more was the situation for Chicago, right? Where like everybody knows that team might be like 50% different, but they played hard for their coach that had not won a game. And I do give them credit for being able to be focused in that realm and go and put their best foot forward. AJ, what's the mood when something wild like that 96-yard punt return happens? Now I hand raised in air, didn't realize he had the football until about the 40 or 50-yard line.
Yeah.
So
you and half the squad, Billy.
I had no clue what was happening until I saw John Fitzpatrick nearly get tackled at like the 35. What's the energy like of, holy cow, what just happened here?
Yeah.
How do you react to that?
I mean, I was sitting there on the sideline right there with all the running backs, and we're just looking at the screen. It's one of those where, and all the time you play football, it doesn't matter who you go up against. If you see that was a great play. And Packer fans, you got to say that was a great play. That was fantastic. They watch film. Their special teams coordinator, whoever, they watch film. And one of our assistant coaches was saying like that play comes up like every 5 years, like every 4 or 5 years you see it again, and it's just kind of like one of those sleeper plays. It's been done before, but then you
tried it before. That's the funny part.
And you watch it on tape, and they must have gotten a key from our guys of just like, hey, they're going out, they're trying to hit because our guys are running down the field. They must have gotten a key based on who was out there. They're gonna go. They're not gonna see the ball, and they're just gonna go. And that's whether it's the coaches or the assistant or the analytics guy or whoever's watching that tape. Like, that was a great catch. So you got it. Like, a great play is called. This is the NFL. That is, great plays are going to happen. But when you see something like that where the entire team and somebody just walks in the end zone, you're like, oh, okay. Like,
they got us. Yeah.
Good play.
Yeah, they got you.
I remember back in the day that Sunday nighter in New England when Dan Connolly had that insane run back for an offensive lineman to almost run it back for a touchdown. I legit couldn't stop laughing. I remember Packers fans being mad at me because I thought that was A, hilarious, and B, like it's just a great, to your point, it was just a great play. It's like, as a football fan, I can appreciate just a great play being made on the field, either, tactically or just an individual effort. I mean, look, it's entertainment, right? I'm out here dying,
entertainment industry,
living and breathing for the Packers, but yeah, that was a phenomenal play. No question about it.
I immediately, as AJ, you mentioned it, if somebody caught it, I thought of that individual sitting back when they got home, having, 1, 2, 3 fingers worth of scotch, sitting back like, got those sons of guns. That's a good post-game drink.
Because you know for sure, because that guy had nobody blocking for him. So it's like if that did not work out,
he's getting blown up.
That guy would have been drinking the same amount of scotch, but in a whole totally different mood.
Different reasons.
Different mind.
Very
like, that's my job. I will not be here next year.
So let's look ahead to this Eagles matchup. Big playoff game. You've been in that atmosphere. You've been in that kind of situation, obviously, as far as the win or go home nature of it. How unusual and or kind of different will it be because you guys have faced them before? The fact that week one, obviously a very long time ago, both teams are very different at this point, but there's familiarity there. There's certainly an idea of how they go about their business, what they've put on tape all season. What are you thinking as you look at the Eagles and you kind of breaking down that team?
For sure. I think there's a cool nuance of it, right? We start the season in Brazil, we lost, but now we're starting the regular season. We're going there. So it's different site, same group of guys. I think Jalen Hurts was still on concussion protocol. He'll probably obviously most likely be fine to go this week. And so, looking at the roster, they're pretty healthy. So you're going to get their, full shot. Saquon is having one of the best seasons we've seen by a running back ever.
Yeah.
So they're a playoff team. They're the number 2 seed, rightfully so for a reason. They had a very good regular season. I think it's one of those things where you just got to go in there and play your best ball. I think when we play our best ball, and this is not just blowing smoke, when we play our best ball, we can play and beat anyone. When we do not play our best ball, we can also get beat by anyone. And so it's just that simple. It's a volatile league, and the room for error is very small. I think we go in there, we get some turnovers. Our defense, for the most part of the year, has been playing very well. We had a lot of great playmakers, from rookies to veterans to pro bowlers. We go in there, get some turnovers, we take care of the ball, and we just play our brand of football. Get Josh the ball, get the running game going, get VJ Reed and Wicks and Rome and you name it, Tucker, And, I think we come out of there with a win for sure. I can see that. It's not a exaggeration. It's not a hope. It's a very likely scenario, but we got to go in there and take care of our stuff for sure.
Yeah, it's not a prediction. That's a spoiler right there.
Yes.
And when you're in the midst of it, AJ, you talked about it. You can beat anybody in football when you're playing your best. And if you don't bring your best, you feel now you can lose to anybody. Jordan talked about it in the offseason. Like that was an pretty important part of last year of the Giants game. And then that Tampa Bay game when Baker came in and just shredded it like a pork butt pulled off the Traeger. What does that feel like when you do learn that lesson? And we talk about learning how to win each year. Is that a lesson each team you think has to learn individually each season?
I think it is because, every team is a new team, and that's football. And anybody who knows ball at this level, there's so much turnover from week to week to year, obviously. But within that, there is like a belief system or a banked amount of reps and practice time and adversity that you go through as that group. So Jordan and the guys last year when he lost to the Giants or whatever, you might have felt that. But now it's a new team, new year. And as a team, and as like when you're walking around, there's a different vibe than last year and the year before and the year before that. So now how does this vibe, like that is a culmination of everybody in the facility, everybody at practice. And so, I think it's a big part of it. And I think you do have to learn how to win, how to lose, go through adversity. Not to romanticize football really, but there's a lot you can learn and look at in life that's comparable to football. You're going to go through adverse times. You're going to be shit out of luck, for lack of better words, and you're going to have to make something happen. And, I think we're in a great scenario. I think a lot of people are pressing the panic button out there and all worried. This is a great team, playoff team, and we got all the tools we need.
Talking about getting into Philly and pulling off an upset, which is what this would be. Obviously the formula, if you will, for the Packers this year, when they have been successful and you guys have gone either at home or on the road, it's almost always been predicated upon getting scores early, right? Like marching down, getting a touchdown or two, taking control of the game from the outset. I got to ask you, buddy, because, man, it feels like your teammates need a reminder about the 3 points of pressure regarding holding on to the football. I don't know what's going on, but we've had now 3 games where we've had Watson put it on the carpet, we've had Josh Jacobs put it on the ground, and now Jaden Reed is the latest. I mean, how often are you drilling that stuff? How often do they reinforce that? Because, my goodness, can't have that out of the gate in Philly.
No, we definitely got to take care of the ball. I think everybody knows the severity of that. We do practice ball security. We open up our practices, I want to say dang near every day with ball security. We go through a multitude of different drills. It's a point of emphasis for us. We got fines in the running back room for
really?
that. Even in practice, the defense is always going after the ball. As a running back, that was one of the most annoying things. You always have to come back to the ball. You always have to come back to the huddle with the ball and give it to the equipment guy. So even if the play is over, whistle's blown, you're tagged off, everything, the defense can still, as you're walking back, punch it out. And like you'll still get ripped, and it's still fun. And it's like, bro, the play is over. And so like you get, especially in the dog days of camp, when you're just tired, like, all right, finish this rep, and then it's like, oh, now I'm at to deal with this from everybody. But
who's the number one guy to be punching when the play's over?
Probably any of the DBs, probably Keyshawn, Carrington, all those guys. For sure.
They're going to talk about it the most.
Oh yeah, for sure. And then I'd say like the linebackers are probably the best at it, just because they're so strong, like Quay and Isaiah McDuffie gets a bunch of those. But yeah, man, I hate seeing the ball go on the ground. Big ball security guy, but
no doubt,
it sucks. It happens. It is football, and sometimes they just get a good hit on it. It is a lot harder than you would imagine if you haven't played.
I can only imagine. Right.
But definitely something that's literally the first thing. If you're going to be touching the ball and playing offense, that's the first part of your job description is take care of it.
Yeah, and then you see the big defensive lineman carry the ball, AJ, and then there's 2 things. 1, you're way too damn big to be running with the football. We all know when we're too big to be running with the football. And number 2, you can tell that he's a defensive guy like Michael Pierce, because that man went down right away. He goes, I am not going to have this issue in that Baltimore game.
Is that the guy from the Ravens?
Yes, caught the ball, took a knee. He's like, I'm done.
No, didn't he like slide?
Tried to slide.
Right? That was the other thing. You could tell that's a big boy playing defense because that was a weird looking slide, but also freak athletes on the D line and all that.
Always, right?
I mean, that looks so uncomfortable of a landing, but he's like, oh, I'm good. I'm like, all right.
That was a couple weeks ago. Remember that play? It was a Monday nighter, I think, and the guy on New Orleans, the defensive lineman, who somehow is tangentially connected to Taylor Swift somehow, but he like his brother is one of the guys or whatever. But he got up and got an interception, and he's up the left sideline, and everybody was like, "Oh, there's some running back in his past." Yeah. And sure enough, he was a high school running back. But dude, I love it when a big guy has like his eyes get big and he's thinking like 99-yard touchdown return. I'm all about that life.
I feel like we haven't seen enough big guy touchdowns this year.
No, not
the Lions had the one right to the lineman, maybe.
Yeah, but that was designed, right?
Yeah, I want a defense.
Yes,
like I want to running, pick up the fumble, running, big old boy.
Now in 2010, BJ Raji went to
Boston College legend.
Thank you. Elite superstar legend status when he didn't even touch the football, but he was the lead blocker on the goal line formation. Who in this team would be the goal line back? There's thoughts of me. It's got to be TJ Slayton with that 360 pounds. I'm thinking of a lot of movement. Guys? But where would you go? And I don't. You're not going to offend anybody leaving somebody out, but defensive guys, who needs to get in one of those offensive formations? Give
me where are we at? Is it fourth and what? What's the yardage? What do we need?
4th and 1 at the 22 or your first
end zone. We got to go score.
Yep. First and goal at the 1.
4th and goal at the 1, and we're just running a dive straight down the middle. I just need him to.
You just need this man to semi-truck barrel roll into somebody and clear out some space.
Man, I might take Big Telly.
Let's go.
Yeah, I might take Telford for sure.
Really?
Put him at fullback, and I'm just no sets, no nothing. You
just go.
Oh, that man is massive. Just go. Just go and run through everybody.
I'm glad you brought him up because he's had to kind of hit the field a few times this season.
Yeah.
He's been really good.
He hasn't
had a ton of reps, but I do specifically remember there was a moment where I think it was Sean Ryan went down and he had to come in for like 2 or 3 drives.
Like guard,
He was really good.
Yeah. If you could put him at fullback, just like all that size and just like, hey, it doesn't matter how you block this guy. Just don't hold and like ball on him, whatever you got to do.
Run. Yep. Just run and barrel into somebody. And listen, watching his hype up of the sidelines, the fan section during training camp, because that's right where we would be perched up doing the show. Yeah. Luke Butkus makes everybody each day, somebody's got to go juice up the crowd. Telly had some nice juice. I think that celebration, potential Lambeau leap, could be an electric factory if he has that situation going.
That would be sick. I like that.
Okay.
I Lambeau leaped once and Elton joined me up there. That was pretty cool.
That was phenomenal. And I do remember that because
that's also a scary athlete.
Legit, that whole week we had been kind of banging the drum that it felt like LaFleur had told you guys not to leap. Because you scored like 3 or 4 touchdowns, and no one was Lambeau leaping, and we were like, we've forgotten the face of our fathers. What is happening? But it was great.
We're a sham of an organization.
I mean, really. But it was great to see
have
you
no
guys.
Tradition.
What is happening? And Elton joining in was like,
perfect. Absolutely, that was fantastic.
AJ, you're an absolute legend for joining us. Cannot thank you enough for the time, man.
Absolutely.
Obviously, hopefully we'll get to talk to you down the road here at some point. Big game coming up on Sunday. Where will you be watching? You traveling with the team for the big playoff game, or are you going to stick around?
No, I'll be watching from the couch. Watching from the couch right here in Door County. You got a great view. But I will say, no 7 seed has ever won the Super Bowl. Yeah, we'll be the first.
Yes,
nope. That's what I'm talking about.
We'll be the first.
Love it. I absolutely love it.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
Thanks, AJ.
Thank you, man.
Go back.
That's awesome.
There you go. AJ Dillon, just hanging out. Carry the G radio.
Just dropping that. We will. We'll go win the Super Bowl.
Why not?
Kadeem Telfort, not the guy I was expecting.
No, 1,000,000,000% not expecting.
Right? Like I was thinking it might be a Devontae Wyatt shout out.
That makes
TJ Slayton, just size you would think would be in the mix there.
Slayton, by the way, needs to play a little bit more. I think he's been playing well. I want to see him on the field a little bit more.
And
maybe we get a little bit more of that because Saquon Barkley coming in hot.
Yeah, you're going to find a lot of people that maybe have not touched the field as much going to be run fit solutions for this week against Saquon Barkley.
Big time. We got a lot to talk about, sir. We got a lot to talk about.
I also like the fact that we got right into the playoff matchup. I did tease it at the end of No BS. It's like sparsely. I mean, like there'll be a little conversation about what happened Sunday. Sure, a little conversation about.
Oh yeah, well we're gonna dive into that, Billy, because there are some things. There's some things.
I want to eat any vegetables.
There's some things to say, Billy. We're gonna have to talk about it.
Then can we have some ice cream and talk?
Then we'll have ice cream. We won't dwell on it, but we will.
Okay.
We will speak on it. Definitely.
Let's do it next time.
All right. That sounds good. That's Billy. I'm Aaron. This is Carry the G Radio on 97.3 The Game.
To get me through this semi-tough kind of life, baby.
The Packers are the 7th seed and head to Philly for a first-round playoff matchup Sunday with the Eagles.
Obviously, we're not going in with momentum, but who cares? We got to find a way to go attack this week.
We'll get you ready with the insider knowledge that you expect from the Packers flagship.
So I kind of got the sense if he was playing, he'd be in better spirits. He'd want to talk, but he wasn't. So I thought then maybe something's up.
Where every day is game day. 97.3 The Game.
Do you hear that? That's the sound of people giving up on their resolution to lose weight in 2025. It's KB from the Drew and KB Show. I can't tell you how many times I began a weight loss program and then quit without making any progress. But that all changed with Milwaukee Weight Loss. Since October, I am down nearly 40 pounds, and I did it without injections, drugs, or prepackaged meals. The Milwaukee Weight Loss program resets your metabolism so you're changing your body and health for the better. You can easily lose up to 1 pound of fat per day without uncontrollable cravings. Now, I just went for my annual physical, and my doctor was amazed at the change in me. The best part, I never felt like I was on a diet because I wasn't. I was just making better food choices without sacrificing taste or ever really feeling hungry. If you want to drop those extra pounds in 2025, call Milwaukee Weight Loss at 262-433-4008 or visit MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
The following takes place in a Capital Heating and Cooling truck.
Step on the gas, Seth. Roger that, Captain. We need to get Miss Johnson's furnace repaired fast. She couldn't believe we do same-day repairs. Or that Capital works 7 days a week. It's Sunday, and we'll have her heat back on today.
It's the right thing to do.
Same-day repair. 7 days a week. Same-day repair. 7 days a week.
Capital One, do you read me?
Loud and clear, Laura.
You guys almost to Miss Johnson's house? We need to get her furnace repaired fast.
Be there in T-minus 3 minutes.
Step on the gas, Seth.
I already stepped on it.
I already told him.
Roger that.
We'll contact you when the Eagle lands. Capital One, out.
Same-day repair.
7 days a week.
Same-day repair.
7 days a week.
Capital Heating and Cooling can repair your furnace same day, 7 days a week. Schedule online at callcapitalcares.com.
If you or a loved one needs a personal injury attorney, ask around. Lawyers, judges, law enforcement officers, insurance adjusters refer Warshevsky because we achieve maximum judgments and settlements. Their ordeal, their injury is about the money. Warshevsky.com.
A happy place comes in many colors. One that leaves you feeling refreshed. Something that gets you all fired up. Or gives you the space to chill. Whatever your color, bring happiness home with CertaPro Painters and make your happy place your home. CertaPro Painters, that's painting happy. Get started today at CertaPro.com. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Are you starting the new year off with that same old joint pain in your knees, hips, shoulder, or back? Make the decision now to say, no, I'm not going to deal with it anymore. Get moving again in 2025 with the help of QC Kinetics. Hey, it's Billy Schmid. The nation's leader in regenerative medicine and joint preservation is here. They have locations in Greenfield and in Mequon under the leadership of medical director Dr. Ashley Caravelli. And yes, you can revitalize your joints with advanced orthobiologic treatments at QC Kinetics without steroids, without drugs, and no surgery. This This is the future of medicine, using an array of natural solutions like PRP to attack the pain from arthritis that you've been dealing with. So many of your neighbors here in Milwaukee have discovered these cellular treatments and are living life pain-free once again. And if you want to learn more about how you can refresh your joints, get lasting relief with these amazing treatments, call QC Kinetics for a free consultation. They even have appointments available on Saturdays. Call 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474.
Oh, by the way, Ivan's no longer on the project. His wife got a new job, so they're moving across the country.
Robin's top researcher is deviating to a new market. This isn't standard.
And now we're short-staffed. Who's going to finish all these projects?
She needs a cluster of new data analysts, and there's no margin for error.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
What's up, everybody? Adnan Burke here to tell you about a new podcast. It's NHL Unscripted with Burke and Demers.
Jason Demers here, and after playing 700 NHL games, I got a lot of dirty laundry to air out.
Each week we'll get together to chat about the sport that we love.
But we're not just going to be talking hockey, folks. We're talking movies, we're talking TV, food, and Adnan's favorite, wrestling. It's all on Le Table.
Listen to NHL Unscripted with Burke and Demers on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search NHL Unscripted with Burke and Demers and start listening.
97.3 The Game.
Guarantee Radio, second segment, Billy, where things get real and the points are doubled and everything matters just that little bit much more.
Now
or
we're
something.
talking.
I'm making this up as I go. Kind of like the Packers on Sunday when it came to, should we try and throw the ball around the yard? No, we should lean into the running game. Wait, no. Should we send wave after wave at Caleb Williams? No, should we? I mean, it just felt like they were putting a bunch of different stuff on tape for whoever ended up being their playoff opponent to have to worry about, practice for, prepare for. It just never felt cohesive in any real anyway.
That is, Aaron, now that is one of the only ways that I have heard it said that I had not thought of just a way to put everything and anything you could on film to go and have somebody prepare for it. That was what I thought of when all of a sudden you saw Jordan Love line up at wide receiver.
That I was just going to say, I've been asked about the possibility of having Willis and Love on the field at the same time all year long, pretty much since Willis came in for those few starts early in the season. I kept saying, I just don't see it happening. And then, lo and behold, there it is for the majesty of a 3-yard run. There you go, Billy. Now the Eagles have another thing to worry about.
Oh, and they're going to be worried about it. I think they're probably going to spend 15 to 20 minutes each day having to prep and prepare for it. And hey, that's 15 minutes that they're not going to be preparing for something that they're going to see on Sunday. So that's good on it. I do think, Nags, that my biggest, issue with the way the game transpired on Sunday was the lack of, you said, cohesion into the plan, was just the messaging felt so disjointed and so all over the place, right? We are going to try to go win the football game, but at some point we had planned on just getting up and being able to pull starters. Well, I appreciate the confidence, but I don't know that just planning on being up multiple scores, I don't know that that's a game plan, right? Like Brian Butch was joking about it. He's like, that's a hope, that's not a plan. And maybe it was not phrased as correctly as the head coach would like
Maybe
it. But
like it to be, right.
That's the way it came out. That's the way it was phrased. We thought we were going to get up big. We're going to homecoming these guys, and then at the end of the game, we could get the show squad in.
It's so funny. That's exactly what it felt like. Like they had
It felt
scheduled
like
homecoming, and it went the wrong way.
And it went the wrong way. And I know that this is not a Bears program, so this is not what we come here to do.
No, sir.
That is credit worthy for them to actually field a group of competitive individuals, because that game could have been ready, set, Cabo from jump. Instead, they had not won a game for their interim head coach. And it appeared that everybody said, we can't let this guy go defeated as the head coach. He's lost 30 pounds doing 7 jobs over the last 2.5 months. We can't get him one win. And it did seem like that was an impressive rally cry from the Bears. but the Packers were quite complicit in allowing it to happen.
They were. And look, I don't want to dwell on it too much because, again, ultimately it didn't mean a whole lot. Yes, it was the Bears Super Bowl. They finally got a victory after 11 tries. I mean, kudos to them, but they will be watching from their sofas while the Green Bay Packers are taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. And I know, like AJ mentioned it when we were talking to him in the last segment about, Jalen Hurts is still in concussion protocol, but everyone keeps saying the expectation is that he's going to be ready and he's going to play. Obviously, we'll start to get some of these answers tomorrow when both of these teams are back on the practice field.
Yeah.
But man, I got to tell you something there, Billy. Something not sitting right about the way Coach answered the question about his quarterbacks being ready for this game on Sunday in Malik Willis and, more importantly, one Jordan Love. When asked about, are they going to be limited in practice? Are they going to be able to practice? And he wasn't like 100% committed to the idea that, oh yeah, they'll be fine. Like, he didn't punt on the question, but he certainly didn't engender a ton of confidence. And I'm just, I need to see Jordan Love out on the practice field tomorrow, buddy, because that's the funny bone, the hitting the elbow and losing the feeling. Who knows how that lingers? Who knows how that affects his ability to A, grip the ball, but B, place the ball where he wants to when he's throwing it. I don't love it, Billy. I don't love that vibe at all.
I remember last year it was a similar situation for one Josh Allen. He wasn't really the same for like 6 or 7 weeks. So there's definite concern on that. And I don't know where you fell in on it last week. I was for everybody playing, right? Like I was not for sit everybody radio and watch, Malik Willis start the game and play as many backups and reserves as possible. However, like it did feel like worst of the worst case scenarios could happen. Now, the worst case scenarios, there's no chance Jordan plays. Although it adds question, and there is a question if he can play and if he will be 100%. And you lost the football game and didn't bring any good vibes in the locker room. Like that's the strangest part of it when you want to have opportunities to make everybody feel more confident, you engender more doubt. That's a strange spot to be in.
It really is. And look, all of this could be wiped away tomorrow. Like they're out there, they're practicing, we're ready to go. Hopefully, my hope is, and this is again, we're talking hopes. My hope is we got Quay Walker back at practice. Maybe we get Evan Williams back at practice. Let's start getting a little healthy on the defensive side of the ball,
Quay or Evan Williams more important for this week in your estimation to be able to go and play?
Honestly, I gotta say Evan Williams. And I know like I want to see Quay out there in the worst way, especially pairing with Edrin Cooper. But man, that secondary, the way it's been kind of up and down, and especially Zane Anderson still in the concussion protocol. I need those safeties. Although I will say, shout out Katana Ladapo, who got his first extended action in that Bears game, and I thought held up well. I'm not saying put him in the Hall of Fame or anything, but he certainly his first real extensive action of the season, he looked the part. And that's, having not played as a rookie all year long, just get in there and show us what you can do and hold up and know the checks and know the calls and your assignment sure. And that he checked all those boxes.
And seeing it from the bird's eye, like it did seem like him and Xavier McKinney were on the same page with the communication, like you're mentioning. You didn't see anything glaring that somebody was out of position. And we're not going to Joe Milton it, right? Like this is in the Patriots Hall of Fame, and we're going to put his first game jersey in the Packers Hall of Fame. However,
from Milton was insane, by the way.
Wild, right? Wild.
Oh my gosh. Talk about a howitzer for an arm. My God, man.
And Michigan fans are like, hold on, he could never do that here. Not one time.
Not once.
One time.
Not one time.
But to see the secondary, I did not anticipate I was going to be really, really stressing about the availability of Zane Anderson and Brenton Cox Jr.
Ever in your life, right?
For round one of the playoffs, let alone, like you said, ever in my life. But that has to happen. And I mentioned the two of Quay and Evan Williams. You got to find another way to be able to put some pressure on the quarterback. Nags, the most frustrating part of the rewatch for me is the fact that you get Williams to the ground, the most sacked quarterback in football by rate.
Yes.
one time on the first snap of the ball game when he drops the snap. That's the only sack you get is really, really wild for a team that you should have been feasting upon in that offensive line.
I will say, though, what we were talking about earlier, it doesn't feel like they were guns a-blazing, right? Like there were a few pressure calls, but for the most part, it felt like, okay, we're showing some stuff, but we're holding back other stuff. And certainly you didn't see anything along the lines of the simulated pressures you saw against like the Titans or the Texans and other quarterbacks that they took advantage of this season. So I'm willing to say, okay, they're kind of keeping some bullets in the chamber, so to speak. But man, you're going into this game on Sunday. The last time around, you did a really good job keeping Jalen Hurts in the pocket, but he killed you with his arm. So how do you get after this guy who can get out the gate and kill you with his legs? But you've got to put some pressure on him. Otherwise, he is going to carve you up again. And this time, you're not going to have Jair Alexander back there.
Not going to have Jair Alexander. Potentially have, as Armin Sarian said earlier today, Eric Stokes' legacy game.
I love everyone saying, Eric Stokes is playing better. Yeah, because he's playing like 8 snaps a game. Like, yes, he's the dime back. He gets in there when it's an obvious passing situation. He has his one quarter of the field that he's supposed to attend to, and he does his job 8 or 9 times. Well done. Good job, Eric.
So you don't think he's going to be the 2024 Tramon Williams is what you're saying?
I'm highly doubtful, but I would gladly accept it into my heart.
Maybe Carrington Valentine.
There you go. Now
probably has a better opportunity too.
I think he will have plenty of opportunity. Yes. Carrington Valentine, who, by the way, playing pretty damn well this last 3-4 games.
Yeah.
Man.
No, and listen, you're going to need somebody to become a star if you're going to win not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 playoff games to be able to hoist our trophy. But there's stars that get born. And not just Bradley Cooper. A star could be born coming up on Sunday. And you're going to have somebody in that secondary because they will get throws off.
Oh, yeah.
And they're going to want to throw it to 2 of the better wide receivers in all of football, and Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown, whoever the quarterback is. And if it's Kenny Two Gloves, that means that you need to be seeing at least 2 or 3 picks.
It better be. Okay, I hear the music. We got to get on the flip side of this break, and then we'll keep breaking down this big game, this big matchup. And hey, Billy, there are some people in the chat, some friends, some foes. We're ready to mix it up. Let's do it. Back after this on 97.3 The Game.
Making my dreams come true. Oh, yeah. I'm waiting for you, girl.
You may not play for your favorite team, but you act like it. Whether you're at work or outside on the grill, you carry them with you. No, not with a jersey, but a mindset as you crack open that ice-cold beer. Cheesehead TV and Gathering Place Brewing bring you Carry the G, a delicious and easy drinking cream ale. But it's not just for tailgating, it's for everyday life.
Well, we carry the G wherever we may be, so creamy and cold from the land of the green and gold.
Available throughout Wisconsin. 21 plus. Drink responsibly.
I'm at the movies, asking people if they'll switch seats with me for $574.
Here, take mine.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
Too much work.
Not if you call them. They handle the switching.
Now, that's a plot twist.
Shh. Check Allstate first, and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
Drew and KB here. Join us at 3 o'clock. We'll still be ruminating about the Packers loss to the Bears, and we'll catch up with the voice of the Badgers, Matt LePay.
And Paulie Hansen from Iron Jack is going to be in, and the lovely and talented Shanna Quinn.
Join us at 3, Drew and KB.
KB here. For the last few months, you've been hearing me talk about my remarkable weight loss on the Milwaukee Weight Loss Program. And I would imagine there are many of our smart and good-looking listeners who are thinking 2025 is going to be the year I'm going to finally drop those extra pounds for good. I lost nearly 40 pounds with Milwaukee Weight Loss, and I didn't use injections, drugs, or expensive prepackaged meals because it's not a diet. It's a complete reset of your metabolism that helps you lose up to 1 pound of fat every day. The Milwaukee Weight Loss Program also opened my eyes to the amount of wasted calories I was eating. And the best part, it wasn't that hard. I didn't get uncontrollable cravings, and I didn't feel like I was denying myself of anything. If you finally want to drop that extra weight for good, Milwaukee Weight Loss is the only way to go. Call for your free consultation at 262-433-4008 or visit MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
How do you spot the all-new Nissan Rogue Rock Creek? Here's a hint. It's got all-terrain tires, a tubular roof rack you can't miss, and it's tough inside and out with lava red detailing. You'll also find it in its natural habitat, climbing mountains, attacking rugged trails, and never backing down from any adventure. The first ever Nissan Rogue Rock Creek.
Intelligent all-wheel drive cannot prevent collisions or provide enhanced traction in all conditions. Always monitor traffic and weather conditions. Always secure cargo. Heavy loading of the vehicle with cargo, especially on the roof, will affect the handling and stability of the vehicle.
Hi, it's Mike Heller here, inviting you to join me December 11th as we uncover the unique charms of Austria and Germany, visiting the magical Christmas markets with Colette. We'll unpack once and stay 5 nights in Innsbruck, nestled in the heart of the amazing Alps. We'll enjoy fairy tale cities where age-old culture is interwoven into seasonal specialties. There will be plenty of time for Glühwein and shopping in all the Christmas markets. And we'll visit the magnificent medieval cities of Salzburg, Oberammergau, and Munich. Plus, journey by train to the alpine mountain village of Seefeld and get whisked away on an actual horse-drawn Christmas sleigh. This and so much more. Colette covers the details. From arranging flights, meals, hotels, and local experiences, your only job is to have the time of your life. Don't miss out. Call Colette 844-871-7824 or visit 973thegame.iheart.com or visit your travel professional.
Hi, this is Nate from Best Electric. We are a second-generation family owned and operated and based in West Dallas. Our motto is no job is too big or too small, and we stand by our work. Have you been thinking about buying a new electric car or truck? We can handle the installation of your charging equipment with ease. Have problems with ice damming on your roof? We have a solution with the installation of our roof de-icing cable. We are always happy to provide free estimates. Connect with the best. Visit bestelect.com today.
Hey guys, Billy Schmid with my friends at Tap In Golf Bar in Waukesha and in Sussex. They're your place to keep the swing fresh all year long. Don't lose that progress you made this season. The Bev Cart's never too far from the tee box with a full-service bar. It's the best way to play. Sign up for their Winter League starting in January. Goes through March. You can sign up now. No assigned days of the week. You pick the time you play. And my favorite part is the tournament at the end of the year between the Waukesha and Sussex location. Learn more and sign up today at tapingolfbar.com and tap in with your swing this year at Tap In Golf Bar.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter? Right? And the best part? They accept Discover. Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right. So we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. Every day, ZipRecruiter helps people who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
The Fox 6 weather experts are presented by AdventKnows.com.
Filtered sunshine today and cold with temperatures in the middle 20s, dropping into the teens tonight, then only reaching into the low 20s on Wednesday, gradually warming into the 30s the rest of the week with a slight chance for snow Friday. I'm Fox 6 meteorologist Stephanie Barrichello.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. The new $7 Lux Cravings Box from Taco Bell with 3 indulgent full-size classics, chips, nacho cheese sauce, and a drink for just $7. At participating stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Price and participation varies. Drinks exclude freezes. Tax extra.
97.3 The Game.
Carry the G Radio, wrapping up our first hour. Billy, I got Mike in the comment section here on YouTube asking if we have seen James Jones go to town on television, verbally destroying Shady this morning. It was indeed awesome. I don't know if you saw it, Billy, but it was pretty phenomenal.
So I didn't get through the entirety of the clip. I got through like the first little bit, and then we came back from a break, and then I have not been able to go back and see the full entirety of it. But just getting to see Shady's face when he first catches like the immediate blowback, I think is the best part.
It's the absolute best part when he realizes what James Jones is about to do. For anyone who hasn't seen the clip, essentially Shady's talking about how the Eagles aren't worried about the Packers. They got nothing to worry about. He keeps listing all of the Eagles who aren't worried. And then James Jones, talk about just perfectly, just waiting, biding his time.
Oh, yeah.
And then starts dropping Aaron Rodgers wasn't worried going into Philly. I wasn't worried. Greg Jennings wasn't worried. And then just completely turns it on its head. I mean, it was priceless. So well done.
And James, Packers Radio Network correspondent,
yes, sir.
carries the G as well as just about anybody in the national media. And we need him this week because he is going to be fighting head up against a Philadelphia Eagle. And listen, Shady, for maybe a different clip, his name has been in the on the trend line over the last couple of days.
Yes,
and
it has.
That Fox Sports 1 building, we need our guy James Jones fighting the good fight and professional. Our guy James Jones is a professional, unlike some
big pro, big pro, professional with a capital P, no question about it. Look, man, I can't believe we've got another hour to talk about this game, and we haven't even mentioned really kind of the approach from the defensive side of the ball the last time around and what they've learned and what they can apply from not only that game and the first matchup, but how the Eagles have kind of evolved throughout the season and the ball they were playing prior to Hurts getting, on the shelf. I'm fascinated to see, especially given the personnel and who they have up, potentially down, etc., how Hafley is going to approach this, because it's been a while since they've had to button it up and essentially try and limit a star running back, right? This is a game where this is the guy, he's going to get fed, and everything else is kind of secondary.
I'm fascinated as to, like you mentioned, how that plan gets enacted and if the plan is different with who you have on the field. Like I asked Schneidman earlier on today, and I don't necessarily know in what exact quantifiable way you see a more aggressive game plan or how much more you want to allow Edgerrin Cooper to go and, fly around and be as aggressive as possible. If you do more of that with Quay Walker alongside of him, or if Isaiah McDuffie and Eric Wilson making sure that they know where they're going to be and they're going to be where they're supposed to be, if that allows you to be a little bit more aggressive with it. And Hafley mentioned, what was that last week, that they've been working on some different plans and some different things for Coop. I would assume that we see him in action in different ways than we just have over the last couple of weeks.
I just think getting Quay back would really open things up for him. I mean, look, shout out Eric Wilson, true pro. Like you said, he knows the assignment, but teams are taking advantage of him, especially in coverage. So many times, how many times have we watched run all the coverage off on third down, have someone come, whether it's a back or a tight end, somebody over the middle, sit down at the sticks, completion, first down, the drive continues. I mean, they've essentially either done that, or when the Packers do send pressure, wherever the vacated part is of the field where the pressure just came from, just run to that spot, turn around, make yourself available, another first down. That's been frustrating. And I think some of that is driven by the personnel on hand for Hafley to utilize.
Absolutely. The lack of, I know people love to see all out pressures. Now, you see all out pressures result in touchdowns. Right. But I mean, if indeed you know that you and are confident enough in the guys being able to hold up in the back end, I think he wants to be able to run a couple more all out pressures. And I'm excited to see less of the mush huddle. Right. Of the mush rush.
Right.
Let's try to get after this cat a little bit, because it will be, if indeed Jalen Hurts plays, you will have thrown 4 passes in a month. Or if Kenny Pickett is playing, that you can frustrate that guy. The Packers have defended the run much, much better over the last 2 months than I would have anticipated the Packers team doing.
Yes.
And it's one of the reasons why 2 weeks ago, Nags, I made the claim that this was the matchup I wanted.
Yes, you did.
And I actually preferred the Philadelphia matchup. Now,
yes, you did.
Matthew Stafford and that Rams offense kind of looking like those viral videos of people walking by the counter and something falls from like the pants on offense over the last 3 weeks may make that take look pretty bad.
Yep.
But a Packers win this weekend would make it look
sweet.
Nostradamus like.
A little bit.
Listen, I don't want to talk about it that much, but yeah.
Billy, I got something for you on the flip side. I know we're gonna have to take a break here. We're gonna get into hour 2, but
clock management not as bad as the last 2 minutes, but it's not been great.
Louise, we got Marshall Duke chatting us up here on YouTube, asking, and this I'd love to discuss this on the flip side. Would you guys say Matt is more of a logical / strategic coach or an emotional / impulsive one?
Oh, that is a full conversation.
Yes, it is.
Oh, that's
yes,
a good
it
one.
is. I'm
Thank you,
stroking my
Marshall.
beard on that one. That's a good buffalo to feast on right there on the flip side.
That's a great one. That is going to lead off hour number 2, and we might need all of hour number 2 to be able to discuss that one. It's Aaron Nagler. It's Billy Schmid. It's Carry the G Radio on Cheesehead TV YouTube page. Why not have lunch with us? Grab it and hang out for the next hour. It's up next right here on 97.3 The Game.
The Game.
Brian Butch here. New year, new you. Start 2025 out the right way with Iron Jock Performance Apparel. Now through January 12th, when you buy $50 or more of Iron Jock, take 30% off your entire order with promo code New Year 30. And if 30% off wasn't enough, Iron Jock has your back, or I should say your forehead, because you'll also receive one of their antimicrobial workout towels for free. Go to ironjock.com for details. That's ironjoc.com. Now through January 12th, go New Year 30.
Window Nation customers have been singing our praises for years. With fast local service and an industry-leading 96% customer satisfaction rating, it's no wonder.
I researched window companies for the last year to see what the average prices were and the quality of work. Window Nation nailed both.
Get 50% off all windows and 0% interest for 6 years. Hurry, this offer ends soon. Schedule a free estimate now. Call 866-90NATION or visit windownation.com. That's 866-90NATION.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture with daily use.
Hey, Mom, I've been meaning to talk to you about some new COVID information I saw online. I read that 3 out of 4 adults in the United States have a high risk factor for severe COVID-19. And Black folks like us with certain conditions like diabetes, heart disease, mental health conditions, or being 50 and older are at high risk.
Boy, you sound like a commercial.
I'm just saying. I know you love your ginger teas and essential oils, but remember, there are treatment options for COVID-19.
I promise if I get sick again, I'll call my doctor to ask about my options.
Hickory dickory dock, the mouse ran into a gap in your air ducts, made a nest, pooped, and died. Breathe easy after Clean Living Environments cleans your air ducts, will seal air in and mice out. Get more out of your ducts, cleanlivingenvironments.com. That's cleanlivingenvironments.com.
By now, you've probably figured out what's most important to us at Semperfi is our reputation. Building a great character-driven remodeling company is actually quite easy. It's just the first 20 years that are a bit challenging. Great companies are collections of great people, and we have great people. They're the ones that helped us build our reputation, but they only come after you've built something they want to be part of. We don't necessarily have to look for good people. They come to us. And that's what you want when you hire an exterior remodeling company. Someone who's going to stand behind their work, and a company that is truly proud of their people. And it's because they do great work. And when you're ready, we'll do great work for you too. This is Brad Youngluth with Semperfi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semperfi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry, Semperfi!
I'm at the movies, asking people if they'll switch seats with me for $574.
Here, take mine.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
Too much work.
Not if you call them. They handle the switching.
Now, that's a plot twist.
Shh. Check Allstate first, and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. Every day, ZipRecruiter helps people who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
No two people learn the exact same way. So how did Babbel become the award-winning language learning app? We thought of you, all of you. Take Sierra. As a visual learner, she uses Babbel's wordplay videos.
Today I'll share a quick lesson on shopping in French.
Merci beaucoup. Keith is a be in the room with real people kind of learner. So he loves the live online classes with our language experts.
Okay, class. Vos está pronto.
Estamos prontos.
However you learn, Babbel makes it easy. Try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Progressive presents a testimonial of sorts.
Hey, slow down!
Oh, yeah? Well, you drive like my grandma. She's a very attentive and courteous driver who wears a seatbelt and always uses her turn signals. She's also a talented painter and has very low cholesterol. Not that that has anything to do with her drive. We just thought a more complete picture of who she is might be interesting. Anyway, have a nice day.
Safe driver? Get Snapshot from Progressive and get a personalized rate based on how you drive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents. Surcharge possible for unsafe driving.
Cordell & Cordell, a domestic litigation firm, is a partner you can count on. Schedule a consultation by calling 866-323-7529 or visit us at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com.
Live from Milwaukee and heard on the iHeart app by fans everywhere. We are WRNW-FM Milwaukee, 97.3 The Game.
Number one for sports and stuff.
Carry the G Radio back for hour number 2. Billy keeping me on my toes with that intro. I didn't know what was going on. It sounded like a Van Halen song for a second there, and then all of a sudden it just kept going. And then I was like, oh, wait, are we back? And then I said, yeah, we're back.
See, listen, you got to keep you on your toes. It's playoff time, so we need to be ready to rock the rivers, shake the lakes, and go pillar to post, coast to coast. And, hey, kickstart my heart. I totally know who that's from. Like, listen, energy is what it is, and it kickstarts hour number 2.
Is that what that is? Is that what that is? Okay.
You like
good.
that?
I'm all in. But we got business to attend to here, sir. I mean, this is a question for the ages from Marshall Duke.
One of the best ones we've gotten.
Is Matt LaFleur more of a logical/strategic coach or an emotional/impulsive one? And here's my instant reaction to that question, Billy. Inside of every man are 2 wolves. And Matt is mostly ruled by the former. But every once in a while, he succumbs to the latter. There is certainly a world where LaFleur dips his toe, maybe even dives into the emotional/impulsive part of his coaching kind of life, right? But I think more often than not, he is more logical/strategic. What do you think?
Well, I also think that there is a clear connotation that both of these are trying to give off, right? Mm-hmm. Like there is a belief that if you are emotional on the sidelines and impulsive, that you're a bad coach. I would argue against that, like in full totality. Like I don't believe just because you're emotional. Context is important in all of this. I think showing emotion on the sidelines can be a good thing. It to me is always something that people would gripe about coaches who are more of the logical strategic coach. Mm-hmm. Doing Brewers post games for as long as I did, Nags, I was told this guy doesn't care.
Right.
I never see this guy show any emotion. Right. Because he doesn't flip the water cooler, because he doesn't rant and rave and cuss people out in the media. This guy doesn't care. Right. Or if your team loses and you don't make a key strategic move at the end of the game, clearly your emotions just get the best of you. Yep. Like you are far too emotional on the sideline. So I think there's too clear of an agenda kind of with each line. I do think that the way Matt calls games has more strategy in itself other than just like, I want to take somebody else's soul, right? Like, I don't think he gets emotional in the Chip Kelly style of calling a game against Michigan, where they're like, we need to show them that we can bully them at the line of scrimmage. Guess what, brother? You can't. So now you're going to lose. So like, you can strategically look at it logically. We got better players on the outside. We'll utilize that. But when it comes to like challenges and stuff, I think it's clear as day that Matt is very energetic and emotional on the sideline to where like
to his detriment,
players,
I think.
Where that can be very much to his detriment of like players come over like, coach, we got that ball. We got the ball. I'm looking at the scoreboard. We got it. We got it right there. Throw the flag. And that's how you become 0-6 in challenges until this week, where you win a challenge that was actually
that you should never have had to challenge.
You shouldn't have challenged. So I think there's a little bit of truth to both sides of it, Nags.
Sure.
I do believe he's the good of both. That being said, I don't think this year has showcased that the best down the stretch, where
very much agreed there.
It feels more, I don't know. I don't know enough about it. Like, I'm not around it enough. I don't see it every single day, right? Like, I don't, but it appears to me that there is a tightness factor with the ball club that seems that very much could and generally does get set with the mood at the top. Like, it just seems
Kelly, what is the old adage, right? Teams are a reflection of their coach. They are an extension of the head coach, right? They reflect whatever mood, vibe, whatever you want to call it. That is what they feed off of. That is what informs them. And I'm with you, man. It does feel like, especially over the course of the last couple games, it's a little tight. Things are a little tight on the sideline. Things are a little tight around the building. Maybe that changes now because it's win or go home, but it's also everyone's counting them out. No one. And I mean, I unless it's the most dyed-in-the-wool optimistic Packers fan on earth, no one thinks they're going to Philly and winning this game. I haven't seen it. I've seen a whole lot of they got no shot. They're one and done. It's over, etc. Get ready for Cancun. I've seen a whole lot of that. So maybe they can lean into that. House money. No one expected them to do it last year when they went down to Dallas and blew the doors off the place.
Next, that was when they were the best last year. Was when they had that cloak of nobody believes in us and we're everybody's underdog. The other part, and they've not been able to because it would be manufacturing that this year. They have not been slept on by anybody until right now. They have not been doubted on their ability to really win a big game until kind of right now, more insulated, right? Like listening to more and more on the outside in the national perspective, even guys that are somewhat in the Philadelphia side of camp, giving the Packers a great chance to go and win the football game, much better than any other underdog outside of Los Angeles, who's a clear favorite to go into Houston and win that wild card game. Like, there's a real disconnect to where it seems like everybody else around the league is seeing it, and maybe it's because we're watching it tighter and we see much more of it.
Right? Yes, that's a big part of it.
But it is a very, very different connotation that the Packers are being talked about inside and outside.
Well, it's funny you mentioned the kind of perception outside the building, right? Or outside around the league, because it's funny watching Packers fans. And to this question, right, is he more logical and or strategic? Man, Matt is one of the best play callers and or game planners in the game, like in the league, hands down. And I don't need to say that because I've heard it from so many different people across the league, front office folks, scouts, coaches, everyone else can see it. But to your point, because we live and die with every snap of the ball, right? Packers fans are so invested in each and every play, we get kind of blinded, right? We're in the forest. We can't see the trees. We are, oh my gosh, this is the worst call ever. Billy, that said, I would like to fire the end around on 4th down into the sun. But that said,
one block.
That said,
one block.
That's
one block. One.
Like, over the course of his career, LaFleur has been phenomenal in this regard. And it is funny to me that, like, most negative or angry Packers fans will never see that, will never enjoy it until one of two things happens. Either Matt eventually leads them to a Super Bowl victory, or he eventually is let go and they bring in someone else who's not as good.
Correct. There's two outcomes to it, and both are either a trophy or an ousting. Because like the phrase being held accountable, I'm so tired of. The accountability that we take, Nags, is not the right kind of accountability, right? Where it's like, I'm sick and tired of you saying that it's on you.
Right.
Well, what else is he supposed to say? Right? Like, if it's on him, you got to say it, because otherwise you're not taking accountability for it.
Billy.
But when you have to say it week in and week out, and it is one of your taglines, I totally understand the frustration with it.
Yep.
It's such a unique is not the right word, because I think every fan base has this kind of situation. Yes. Every team thinks their coach sucks at clock management.
Well, look, we're going into Philly where the Eagles fans, a large majority of them, absolutely hate their coach. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
They hate Sirianni.
And you know who the other coach that they hated because he sucked at clock management was?
Andy Reid. That's correct.
The one who's probably going to end as the all-time wins leader in pro football and might go down as the best coach in the Super Bowl era, right? So, like, you can miss me with a lot of it. You watched all 32 teams in the NFL. Nobody's good at clock management, because guess what? Somebody wins and somebody loses. And the one that lost, everybody always believes lost the game. So I've struggled with that part of it. However, that defense this week, not a good one.
Here's the
not
problem,
a good
right?
one, because
we're having this discussion
management
after that game.
Yeah,
that's the problem. Like, look, I think Matt LaFleur's a really good coach, but man, he botched it hard at the end of that game. Both he and Hafley.
Yeah,
like, zero question. That game was won until the coaches got in the way. That game was won.
And now I've seen the last play a number of different times, and I've thought about it 4 or 5 different ways, right? The final ball to DJ Moore, the 19 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Multiple things can be true at the same time.
All right, let me hear it.
I don't think the play call is like the worst thing ever. The execution of that play call is brutal. I also would not have run the same play, right? So I don't think it's
the idea behind the call is fine. Like, get them in the middle, tackle them, get up slow, run the clock, etc. The idea, fine. The actual call, I hate. The idea that, and Matt admitted on Monday, you got to have someone in the middle of the field. How you have 3 safeties playing like it's a Hail Mary situation, I'll never, ever. I mean, that's Bob Slowick bad. I mean, that is such a horrible call in that regard. And like and all of that plays out fine, whatever, horrific, fine. The thing that drives me insane about that sequence is the Bears come out in that set initially with the 3 trips to the right, solo on the left, and then the Packers call a timeout to gather their thoughts and say, okay, what are they going to try and do here? And then the Bears come out in the exact same set.
Yeah.
And the Packers run that call.
Yeah.
You took a timeout to make sure that you what? Off of that look. Like, that blew my mind.
And I thought the same thing. Aaron was so surprised that was how it went down. I went back to watch it to make sure that they came out in the same thing.
My eyes deceive me? What?
They didn't come out in the same look. Oh, no, they did. Yeah, they did.
And 100% did.
But in this, again, the same thing can be true. If somebody falls on DJ Moore
and just slow to get up off the pile. Yes, sir.
And potentially bumps the football and scooches around a little bit, I don't know, doesn't make it easy for the offensive lineman to line up correctly right away. Like, there is a way for you to shed 3 seconds and make it right with the execution.
But
and that's
even
where
to that
the
point,
frustrating part of the execution was so bad.
LaFleur admitted it's got to be at 12 seconds. Got to be at 12 seconds. There are 15 seconds on the clock. So why are you? Oh,
yeah.
See, now you're just trying to get me going. You're just trying to bait me, trying to get me riled up. Successful, Billy. Well done. But let's and while we're here, while we're airing grievances, what about the offensive drive prior to that whole debacle on defense? That drive for the Bears should never have existed. Call a timeout on 3rd down. Get your best call. Convert. Now it's 1st down. You control the game. Squeeze the hell out of the clock. They got 1 timeout left. Kick the field goal. Go home. We all leave Lambeau singing, the Bears still suck.
Now,
but no.
And he would never admit it this way because it would be throwing somebody under the bus, and you just can't do it in that situation. They snapped that third down play, which he admits was not the call they liked.
20 seconds left on the play clock, Billy.
Yep. If that is Jordan, is there a better and easier way of saying, hold, run this thing down, and we're going to call a timeout? Like, is that communication better, easier? Like, I again, you can't throw it all in your back.
The helmet radio doesn't go off until 15 seconds remain on the play clock.
Yeah, and that's
just talk to your quarterback.
That's what catches it. You got to be able to alert him. Hold.
So then
dead. Everything's dead.
But then you don't get it on third down. Okay. Then you take a timeout.
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
Oh.
With like 25 seconds on the play.
Brutal, man. Just brutal.
Because my thought was on the third down, because it's clear they don't like the play call. It's clear they don't like the play call.
Yep.
But you got to be able to alert and run the clock down. And that's where I thought he took the timeout early so they didn't cut the.
Yeah.
But it didn't go.
I'm just glad. Okay, now we've got it. We've got it out of our system.
Right. Correct. All that goes. All that's done.
As Matt said, we flush it.
Yep.
And we move on.
Over. And now it's over. And now you're never going to make that mistake again, because the only problem, the only way a mistake is bad. The only way a mistake is bad is if you don't learn from it. So we're going to learn from this.
I've given Matt hell about his timeout usage since 2019, and I didn't see a whole lot change in that time. So we'll see.
We'll
see, Billy.
That was first half timeout usage, right?
Well, that's the excuse. Like, oh, we don't care about the first half timeouts. Yeah, well, Coach, I'm talking about all the timeouts here.
I'm talking about all 6 you get in the game.
I can show you a clip from Cheesehead TV back in the day where I'm like, why do you guys just hate timeouts? And he gets so defensive, and it's like, okay, but
he was salty at you for that question. Yeah, he was.
Well, he referenced it again this year when I was back in town a couple weeks ago, and then promptly wasted a timeout in the first half that game.
Right away after.
I
Taylor's old as time, baby.
It's an homage, man. I count it as an homage.
I bet at some point in his mind,
TV shout out is what it is.
Suck it, Nagler. Like, he's just thinking about that as he's taking the timeout.
Exactly. Precisely.
Oh, just wait till I see the clip of Nags on this one. Now, maybe his sons are like getting Brick Johnson level, where they're going to start watching Cheesehead TV and start bringing suggestions to their dad.
Exactly.
From what Aaron Nagler has. Like, Dad, you know what you should do?
Well, you know what Nagler
waste
said.
Timeouts.
God, can you imagine?
The angry text that you would get would be one of my favorite pieces of content.
That's like, I think it was in Rogers last year when Big B, longtime Cheesehead TV watcher, fan, etc.
Yes.
He got to go inside. He was a Make-A-Wish kind of winner and got to go hang out with the Packers for a day, right? And he legit threw us under the bus. He was like, Aaron and Corey, they Cheesehead TV keeps saying you guys need to run the ball more. To Aaron Rodgers and Matt LaFleur.
Yeah.
I don't need that in my life, man.
Where I don't know, B, I see you tweeting that quite a bit.
Thank you.
With all capital letters.
Don't blame me.
Yeah.
For something you're thinking as well. Don't need it, man.
Aaron told me to say it.
Yeah, exactly.
Aaron Nagler told me to tell you guys.
I mean, that's almost what he said. I don't need it, man. But hey, look. Hey, I think that was the genesis of this season, though, because look, what have they done this year?
Yeah.
What have they done this year? They have run the ball.
And it's going to be their key to victory coming up this week.
There you go. Now we're talking.
We got more.
Rope that in. That was great. Well done.
Hey, that's what we're doing, baby. That's what we're doing right here. We got 2 more to play and 2 more times for us to find ways for the Green Bay Packers to beat the Philadelphia Eagles and move on to the divisional round and do what Matt LaFleur has said multiple times they would have to do. Earn the right to go back to Detroit and play the Detroit Lions. We'll talk about it as well. That's Aaron Nagler. I'm Billy Schmid. It's Carry the G Radio statewide on YouTube and 97.3 The Game.
It's playoff week.
One hell of a journey, boy.
Listen as we get you primed for the Sunday matchup in Philly.
As we know, anything can happen in the playoffs. Let's win and go home.
Packers, Eagles.
And we got to maximize the moment.
Your home for the Packers in Super Bowl 59, 97.3 The Game.
Underdog Fantasy is the best place to cash in on your sports takes during the NFL playoffs. Hey, it's Billy Schmid. Which players are going to go off and which players are ice cold? With over 5 million happy players and $2 billion won, Underdog Fantasy is the best place to play Pick'em and cash in on all your favorite athletes' performances. Their Pick'em game allows you to win up to 1,000 times your money by simply choosing higher or lower on your favorite player's stats. And whether it's the NFL playoffs or the NBA, you can mix and match across your favorite sports and cook up some fire entries for your shot to win real cash prizes. Underdog is also the only Pick'em platform that puts the power to cash out in your hands, so you can either keep riding your entry or tap the win now button whenever you want. Plus, Underdog's double flex option allows you to even take 2 L's and turn them into a W. Underdog is the best place to play Pick'em, my favorite. Download the app today, sign up with promo code Billy, and deposit now to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. That's promo code Billy. Must be 18 plus and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Hey, Mom, I've been meaning to talk to you about some new COVID information I saw online.
Uh-huh.
I read that 3 out of 4 adults in the United States have a high risk factor for severe COVID-19. And Black folks like us with certain conditions like diabetes, heart disease, mental health conditions, or being 50 and older are at high risk.
Boy, you sound like a commercial.
I'm just saying. I know you love your ginger teas and essential oils, but remember, there are treatment options for COVID-19.
I promise if I get sick again, I'll call my doctor to ask about my options.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
I'm defense attorney Tom Grieve. If you drive drunk, you will be pulled over and you will be arrested. You cannot talk your way out of a DUI, but you can keep your mouth shut for your best defense. Call my team of award-winning former state prosecutors. You are only guilty if you are convicted. GrieveLaw.com.
Save big money at Menards, where there's no ceiling to savings. Update your space with new ceiling tiles. Menards carries stylish and durable ceiling tile options. Armstrong ceiling tiles offer a variety of styles that are easy to install. Get the Brighton 2x2 ceiling tile for only $379 each. Plus, get 15% off everything you can fit in the bag. See store for complete details.
Save big money at Menards.
The following takes place in a Capital Heating and Cooling truck.
Step on the gas, Seth. Roger that, Captain. We need to get Miss Johnson's furnace repaired fast. She couldn't believe we do same-day repairs, or that Capital works 7 days a week. It's Sunday, and we'll have her heat back on today. It's the right thing to do. Same-day repair, 7 days a week. Same-day repair, 7 days a week.
Capital One, do you read me?
Loud and clear, Laura.
You guys almost to Miss Johnson's house? We need to get her furnace repaired fast.
Be there in T-minus 3 minutes.
Step on the gas, Seth.
I already stepped on it. I already told him.
Roger that.
We'll contact you when the Eagle lands. Capital One, out. Same-day repair, 7 days a week. Same-day repair, 7 days a week.
Capital Heating and Cooling can repair your furnace same day, 7 days a week. Schedule online at callcapitalcares.com.
I don't feel so good.
You do feel hot. Dayquil Kids will take care of that fever.
What about my cough?
Dayquil Kids has that covered.
Will it make my throat feel better?
Yes, that too.
But will it taste good?
Yep, Dayquil Kids comes in your favorite flavor.
Purple?
Well, yes, it's great.
Try new Dayquil Kids Plus Fever, the daytime coughing, aching, sore throat fever just for kids medicine. Safe for kids 6+. Used as directed.
Our new and improved iHeartRadio app has made it even easier to enjoy the radio station's podcasts and playlists you love. How? Well, we've added everything you love about your car radio into the free iHeartRadio app. With easy-to-use presets, you can now save your favorite stations on the app, just like in your car. And with the all-new live radio dial, it's easier than ever to discover new stations you'll love based on your location or favorite genre. Find out what everyone's talking about and get the new and improved free iHeartRadio app today.
iHeartRadio is the easy-to-use app for music and radio. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
97.3 The Game.
Here the G Radio coming at you. Final half hour. Billy and I are going to tear it up. Getting ready for this Green Bay Packers playoff game in Philadelphia against the Eagles, who, I got to say, they're looking pretty healthy. Although I will say, all the drama and intrigue around their quarterback because of the concussion protocol, and he's got to pass this final step, etc., and Sirianni's being kind of cagey about it, they do also have some other injuries they are dealing with. When you look at the fact that A.J. Brown didn't even go in Week 18 because of that knee.
Yep.
He was listed as doubtful heading into it, and I believe he's probably going to be questionable heading into this week, but most people suspect he will play. But that is something to watch. And as Devontae Smith as well, dealing with a wrist injury, though, again, most people expect that he's going to go and he's going to be, quote-unquote, fine. But it is, stuff to watch. I mean, those are things that could pop up. You never know when guys might re-injure something, etc. So I just think, obviously as Packers fans, we get so dialed in on our team for good reason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
As far as injuries, who's up, who's down, who's available, who's not, who's, going to be out there on Sunday. I mean, there's a few things to watch for the Eagles as well. No question.
Yeah, and obviously the quarterback will have the biggest headliner because it's the quarterback position. But thinking about it last year, wasn't it a Deebo Samuel injury coming into the 49er game?
Right.
And then you're like, okay, he's going to play. So that's not a storyline. And then 5 plays in,
he got busted up right away.
He got busted up and then was barely a factor in the game. So they can build a game plan around thinking AJ Brown can go, and then maybe in a tight situation, unable to go because of this, that, or the third. I think the most important part for the Packers is going to be trying to take advantage of whatever rust you can find off Philadelphia, right? Even if
a little bit.
Even if Nags, it is 2 to 3 series in which they're trying to get their rhythm, you need to be able to capitalize on it. And I think that could be a part of the recipe for what they do if they win the toss, right? Last couple of weeks they've won the toss.
Here we go. Let's get into it.
Right? They've taken the football and
they have.
Cheeks on their first drive. So I do think there's something to also in the hostile environment.
Yep.
Really cheat up group. I mean, those people are going to be lubricated at 4:30 in the afternoon.
Correct.
Probably a good reason to have them be a little quiet to start, see what happens. You might be able to bring some juice, get a little bit of, that's not what we expected to have happen. Just a little bit of uncertainty into the crowd. That's where I think actually deferring is the easier way of being able to, conversely, take this piece, move it here, go this way, that way, that way, is to slow the crowd and slow that momentum where defense getting a stop might be what I feel more confident in them being able to do than go down 80 yards and go score right away.
I will say, look, I mean, like most things when it comes to LaFleur and his decision making, he's going to be kind of killed either way, right?
Oh, he's damned if you do, damned if you don't.
I think their way of working this year and the way they've been successful is by getting up early, right? Getting the ball, getting a touchdown or two on the board and taking control of the game. We've seen that many times. The problem is we haven't seen it against the best teams. Right. Because they've put the ball on the carpet, or they've had mistakes and they've shot themselves in the foot with penalties, whatever. But this is a game where if they do end up getting them, Philly could win the toss and defer and we get the ball, right? That's entirely possible. If and when we start on offense, something I think could be a key, and who knows how much he'll be able to kind of lean into numbers wise as far as reps, but we've seen Musgrave out there now these last couple weeks. I think a 2 tight end set to open things would be, I don't know about advantageous, but I think it'd be a nice wrinkle as far as facing a defense and a scheme that the coaches are certainly familiar with. That was what, the Fangio tree style was what Joe Barry was attempting to run, and I think, yes, you're obviously going to pound the football. You're going to utilize Josh Jacobs early in this game, but I don't hate the idea of play action to Musgrave down the seam against this 2 high safety look that you're going to probably be presented with early on.
Yeah.
Just try to break that mold a little bit, something a little different. Now, of course, having 2 tight ends out there, one of them being Musgrave, you got to block. You can't be a detriment.
Yeah.
And sometimes that has occurred. But I like the idea of kind of going heavy early in this game.
Well, and that would also answer a question that my mother asked me earlier this week when she right away said, so who's our deep threat now? Like, well, you're going to have to find one. Luke Musgrave could be an interesting part of a different answer. That's a different answer to it, but there's not going to be one singular time and one singular guy that you're just going to plug into the Christian Watson role to just try to take the top off the defense.
No,
you're going to have to be able to manufacture some of those deep shots, and that could be one of the ways.
Hey,
and
why leak? Little tight end leak action, maybe?
That's what I'm saying. And
haven't really run that since the Cowboys game last year.
And let's see if Musgrave stays on his feet. I mean, come on now. Give him that opportunity to stay on your feet, and we could be celebrating in the locker room after.
Don't hate it. I don't hate it. It is fascinating to watch people kind of, well, Bo Melton's fast. Why doesn't he just do the Christian Watson stuff? It's like that because Bo Melton, yes, time's fast. And he certainly plays fast. I'm not saying he's not. But Christian Watson is a whole different athlete and a whole different species of player. Like, I get it. And I think you kind of saw that play out in Minneapolis on that third down where they just need 5 yards and Jordan tries to take that deep shot up the left sideline to Bo Melton. And it's just like, nobody Christian Watson.
No, and nobody's really going to feel that threatened until you hit them on it, right? Like you have to be able to hit a couple of times for people to really respect it.
Yes.
You hit on too many deep shots to Watson where teams come in respecting and expecting that he is going to stretch the field, and then the intermediate stuff's going to be a factor. All of this that we've said here is a great backdrop, but if one thing does not happen, Aaron, it's difficult to find them winning a football game in the playoffs, let alone this one. Jordan Love's got to play well. I mean, like, I know that we're just using this. He's got to play much better than he has over the last couple of weeks. And I know the injury is a part of it, and that's going to be a question mark. And we're going to have to see him stamp and validate that he is good to go on the field on Sunday. But you can't be having a quarterback rating in the 90s and expect to win this game. It's going to have to be one of those electrifying performances that you say, that's why you're paying a guy top of the market level. This is where your best players need to have their best game. And Jordan Love has not had his best game over the last couple of weeks.
Yes, 100%. I mean, obviously it all starts with the quarterback, and Jordan 1,000,000,000% needs to be better out of the gate. I mean, you can't be throwing balls at guys' feet. You can't be having receivers that are breaking at the sticks and you're throwing it a yard ahead of the sticks. Like, that has got to change. And I don't know at this point what Matt LaFleur can do outside of, like, you got to gin up some easy throws, right? Some bootlegs, easy kind of play action stuff where, okay, we're rolling out. We've got a delineated high-low read, hit the guy in the flat, and let's go. Something to get him in rhythm. Because here's the thing. Jordan is just, he's singularly Jordan Love in the sense of he can start a game like, 2 of 5, 2 of even 6 or 7, and we're all oh, God, this is so frustrating. And then all of a sudden, he gets on a heater, right? And he hits his next 9 of 9, 10 of 10. And once he hits that, okay, let's go. The problem is, especially recently, we've had these moments early and the game's not gotten away from them, but certainly that's what happened in Minneapolis, right? Like, you've got to be able to manufacture some rhythm for him early in these games so the game doesn't start with, oh, it's getting away from us already. Like, we've got to be able to get Jordan in rhythm. And I do think, look, you've lost Christian Watson. There's going to be a lot of hand-wringing about that this week, which I understand. But, man, Jaden Reed is still talented as hell. And I understand it's been frustrating around him. We've had drops. We've had stops on these end arounds on 4th down, etc. But, man, he is still the guy who broke Sterling Sharp's rookie season reception record. You can utilize him in a big way. You can lean into him. Mike Witt asking us on the chat here. Am I the only one that thinks we can and should use Reed like the Lions use St. Brown? Similar build. Maybe I'm wrong. Thoughts? I don't know if it's a 1-for-1 comparison because, man, St. Brown is a singular talent, and he is pretty damn amazing. But I will say there's a whole lot of untapped potential in Jaden Reed and how you go about utilizing Jaden Reed. I do think, you could probably use him backside in a 3-by-1, right, and get him on a slant like a traditional wide receiver rather than continuously always running him in orbit motion, continuing to, and maybe the Christian Watson injury forces
you to do some of that,
right?
Yeah. And then maybe Bo Melton becomes more of the bit guy in the orbit motion to try to stress teams and play his speed that way. Jaden Reed is such a unique talent because of his skill set and stature, right? Like, just the size. You don't anticipate for him to be a go up and get it kind of receiver. That's really who he is. He's physical. physical at the point of attack.
Yes.
You're going to have to he's going to have to make a couple of those plays over the top of Quinyon Mitchell, who's a fantastic rookie corner.
Really
Cooper DeJean is having a really, really good year as well. There, they got Darius Slay and company in the back end, and Gardner Johnson. If you can beat him and get up and start talking trash, I love that deal. If anybody's going to be doing it, it's going to be Jaden Reed. And this is the same guy that had 4 catches for over 100 and a 70+ yard touchdown when he gets left wide open against these cats earlier in the year in Brazil. So again, your best players are going to have some of their best performances, and Jaden Reed far from his best performances over the last couple of weeks. I don't know how you.
But that's most of the guys. This is what I was going to underline your point.
True. Yes.
You have got to have your best players at their best to beat the best. And as of late, the last 4 or 5 games certainly hasn't been that, right? And you've got frontline guys like Christian Watson, Josh Jacobs, Jaden Reed, put the ball on the carpet. You've got Zach Tom with pre-snap penalties, putting you behind the sticks. Like, your best guys have to be at their best. And that includes, obviously, Jordan Love. No question.
Absolutely so. But I do think Jordan's performance is the most it's the one with the most carryover. It's the one that then translates to everybody else having bigger games and better games. And I'll be as cardboard cutout take guy as ever. Let's see a little tempo early, because he is you want to talk about those heaters that he's gotten on, Nags? I don't think that it's a coincidence.
Yeah.
Sadly, it's been them down 2 scores.
Right.
But
they get to the hurry up. They get to the
hurry up. They get some tempo. They let him call some plays, get some confidence, and go that route. And listen, it was at Lincoln Financial Field that Jordan Love gave you the belief that he could take over for Aaron Rodgers.
The glimmer of hope began right there. No doubt.
That's how the glimmer of hope for a 2024 Super Bowl and a Mardi Gras party for this team starts. By dropping 28 and a hammer on these Philadelphia Eagles. I don't know that there is a fan base outside of the NFC North that I dislike as much as Philadelphia Eagles fans. But it's going to be hard, because I really, 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 really do not like that organization. And I really don't like their head coach. So if there's an opportunity, run it up and be able to just win the game. I'm not asking to run it up. I'm not asking to run it up, but I mean, listen, if you second and goal, minute and 40 to go, you're already up 2 scores.
You got control of the game.
Run that son of a gun in, and you're putting Emmanuel Wilson, and we're running power 3 straight times down your throat.
Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. Tulio's right. Hey, everyone, are we ready for a nail biter at Philly? I mean, because that's what it'll be, right?
Oh, it's good. It's going to be a great game. It's going to be a 1-score game. Yes. And that's why the odds makers are much smarter than I, Nags. I thought it was going to be a 6.5.
Yeah, what is it at now? I know it opened at like 2.5.
Opened at 3.5. It's sitting right at 4.5. Sitting at 4.5. Yeah, it went back down a little bit towards.
It did go down. Okay, all right. That Hurts news, I think, is really playing with people. Like, I think that's a tough. And that's a tough one to thread the needle on.
And him still not practicing is a thought of. Like, you return to practice a part of the concussion protocol.
Yep. But he's not practicing.
And he still hasn't practiced. So there's multiple thresholds, I believe, you have to get back into.
Yeah, there are 5.
Have to get through.
I think he's like at 2 or 3, somewhere around there. Or he was prior to this week. We'll see what happens tomorrow when both teams hit the practice field. But yeah, it's a concern if you're Philly. No question about it. And now, here's the thing, though. Tanner McKee came in there on Sunday against the Giants and looked pretty darn good. Now, it's the Giants, but he looked okay. Yeah. They can certainly run their own. I mean, it doesn't take a whole lot to turn around and hand the ball to Saquon Barkley. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll take my chances. I'll take my chances. And I will not apologize for it.
Oh, no. Never.
There will be no apologies made if you go in and you're facing Kenny 2 gloves or you're facing McKee. I will not apologize, and I'll be very, very happy for it.
Never apologize for winning, sir. Ever.
No chance. No chance. One more to play, and I got some weird guy that's standing outside the window trying to glance in and look. So I think we got to take a quick timeout.
Don't do that. Take care of that.
I don't know.
Clean up your own house, Billy.
We'll clean it up. We'll finish things off on the other side. It's Aaron Nagler. It's Billy Schmid. It's Carry the G Radio on the game.
You may not play for your favorite team, but you act like it. Whether you're at work or outside on the grill, you carry them with you. No, not with a jersey, but a mindset as you crack open that ice-cold beer. Cheesehead TV and Gathering Place Brewing bring you Carry the G, a delicious and easy drinking cream ale. But it's not just for tailgating, it's for everyday life.
Well, we carry the G wherever we may be, so creamy and cold from the land of the green and gold.
Available throughout Wisconsin. 21 plus. Drink responsibly.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. Every day, ZipRecruiter helps people who are actively looking for jobs like yours, so it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Are you starting the new year off with that same old joint pain in your knees, hips, shoulder, or back? Make the decision now to say, no, I'm not going to deal with it anymore. Get moving again in 2025 with the help of QC Kinetics. Hey, it's Billy Schmid. The nation's leader in regenerative medicine and joint preservation is here. They have locations in Greenfield and in Mequon under the leadership of medical director Dr. Ashley Caravelli. And yes, you can revitalize your joints with advanced orthobiologic treatments at QC Kinetics without steroids, without drugs, and no surgery. This is the future of medicine, using an array of natural solutions like PRP to attack the pain from arthritis that you've been dealing with. So many of your neighbors here in Milwaukee have discovered these cellular treatments and are living life pain-free once again. And if you want to learn more about how you can refresh your joints, get lasting relief with these amazing treatments, call QC Kinetics for a free consultation. They even have appointments available on Saturdays. Call 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474.
How do you spot the all-new Nissan Rogue Rock Creek? Here's a hint. It's got all-terrain tires, a tubular roof rack you can't miss, and it's tough inside and out with lava red detailing. You'll also find it in its natural habitat, climbing mountains, attacking rugged trails, and never backing down from any adventure. The first ever Nissan Rogue Rock Creek.
Intelligent all-wheel drive cannot prevent collisions or provide enhanced traction in all conditions. Always monitor traffic and weather conditions. Always secure cargo. Heavy loading of the vehicle with cargo, especially on the roof, will affect the handling and stability of the vehicle.
Window Nation customers have been singing our praises for years. With fast local service and an industry-leading 96% customer satisfaction rating, it's no wonder.
I researched window companies for the last year to see what the average prices were and the quality of work. Window Nation nailed both.
Get 50% off all windows and 0% interest for 6 years. Hurry, this offer ends soon. Schedule a free estimate now. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com. That's 866-90-NATION.
It's like being trapped in a cage. And I know, that sounds dramatic, but your breathing triangle problem has got you trapped. And once you're freed, you're going to be able to live the life that you're missing out on. Now, this can simply mean experiencing the true pleasure of breathing freely. It will mean better sleep and more energy. And the worry of this problem anymore affecting your life is going to be gone. Because in almost every case, when Advent has solved a breathing triangle problem, it's a one and done. Because we're not in the business of delivering Band-Aids. We want to fix your nasal breathing problem for good. We don't want you to be a lifelong patient. We want you to be our next success story.
Isn't it time you break free from that cage? Take the next step. Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Breathe well with simple solutions. AdventKnows.com.
Results may vary. Most insurance accepted.
I'm Benefit Company's Kurt Otto. INET is a knowledgeable, enthusiastic, innovative, creative, focused, true genius, an expert at branding business visually and telling your story, making potential new business make contact.
Your marketing guru or web developer can't do what INET does, maximizing your business profitability, just like you can't keep up with regulations and see all opportunity to maximize business efficiencies like your in-source benefit companies will. ConnectandSimplify.com.
CreativeGeniusMarketing.com. INET-web.com.
Every morning, we rise and shine, make breakfast, and brush away the night's rest. These routines help us start the day off right. Nature-Made vitamins are a simple step in that daily care regimen. Multivitamins with daily essentials, clinically studied probiotics for gut health support, magnesium to help relax the body. Nature-Made is made to care for you every day. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With Venture X, earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and turn everyday purchases into extraordinary trips. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges where you just check in and chill out. Open up a world of possibilities with Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
The Fox 6 weather experts are presented by AdventKnows.com.
Filtered sunshine today and cold with temperatures in the middle 20s, dropping into the teens tonight, then only reaching into the low 20s on Wednesday, gradually warming into the 30s the rest of the week with a slight chance for snow Friday. I'm Fox 6 meteorologist Stephanie Barrichello.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Lowe's knows it's easier to make the right calls when you have the right team. Download the Lowe's app to get their home improvement playbook in your hands so you can get their team's expertise anytime.
Drew and KB here. Join us at 3 o'clock. We'll still be ruminating about the Packers loss to the Bears, and we'll catch up with the voice of the Badgers, Matt LePay.
And Paulie Hansen from Iron Jack is going to be in, and the lovely and talented Shanna Quinn.
Join us at 3, Drew and KB.
Carry the G Radio wrapping up another week of nothing but fun with Bill Schmid there. Come on now,
Hey,
Billy.
that's what I'm talking about, brother. How
What's
am I
going
feeling?
on, Billy?
I'm excited to be doing a version of this down in New Orleans.
Let's go. Come on.
Just prayers up for everybody in that region. Love it so much. And I know that they've got to be hurting right now, but it's going to pick up. It is a hosting city. It is America's host.
Yes,
Indy and New Orleans are the two best hosting cities in the country. Las
And
Vegas.
we'll be in both. We're going to be in
both.
New Orleans for the Super Bowl, and we'll be in Indy for the Combine. Let's go.
How about that? Isn't that crazy how quickly that happens?
That's great. Like, you blink and the season's gone, man. It's nuts.
Hilarious that we just had Scott Hansen sign off for the last red zone of the year. And it comes at you really, really quick. It's one of the things that's so when you watch an NFL season and the narrative of a year continues to change.
Yes.
We use it every single year that these teams are not the same team that you face in October, not the same team that you face in November.
Nope.
But then it goes so quickly and you're like, how vastly different do you become? It's because each week is a true a whole nother campaign.
Gauntlet. It's a whole
for you to
gauntlet.
be able to make
Yes.
it and survive through, and for you to now be 18 games in or getting into your 18th game. And for the two teams that started the year down in Brazil, it is pretty apropos.
It's crazy too that obviously the regular season ends and there are a bunch of teams clearly getting ready for the playoffs, but then everybody else is either making an announcement about how they're moving on from their coach or their GM, or they're interviewing guys. And in that regard, shout out John Eric Sullivan, Packers personnel guy, going to be interviewed for the Jets general manager job, which how amazing would it be if John Eric, who's been with the Packers since like 2004. He's been through it all. He's seen it all. He knows everything behind the scenes. Ends up as the GM with the Jets and has the future of one Aaron Charles Rodgers in the palm of his hand.
That'd be awesome. Now Schneidman jokes, so we know who won't be the Jets quarterback if he would get that job.
Exactly.
He says, you know what, Aaron, I'll just do it one more time. I saw how great you mentored and helped out Jordan. If we,
that is true. Hey,
if we
that is
draft
very
one,
true. Yes, big time.
Right? Like, there's some thoughts there.
That makes sense to me, but like I know there's a million other considerations in play. But if I'm a GM and I've got Aaron Rodgers in place, I draft my guy, have him sit for a year while Aaron plays out his final kind of farewell tour, so to speak. Now, that's obviously dependent on Rodgers even coming back himself, like saying, "Okay,
wanting to play, saying he's going to play.
I'm back for one more year. I'm not going to retire." Because remember, he was 90% gone last time.
Correct.
And
that was 2 years ago. And it would be easier for me to see him go off with a torn Achilles than to see him go out the way he did this one. Now throw 4 touchdowns, throw one to Allen Lazard, one to Devontae Adams, and become a 500 touchdown thrower.
Yeah.
That's a pretty dang good cap. It could be.
That could
but
be right.
I do remember him saying a number of different times, I don't want to go out as a scrub. And I think sadly some people would view him as one if he goes out this way. Even though my man's numbers are 28 touchdowns to 11 picks.
Well,
like top 10 in a lot of numbers. Top 10 in a lot of categories.
Back in the day, like my down years or other guys like career years, you know.
Yeah.
Although you're talking about 500 touchdowns, fair play, 100% amazing accomplishment. He also on that day became the most sacked quarterback in the history of the game.
In the history of the NFL. Yep. And get one thing over Tom.
So we got Rodgers throwing for 500 and being sacked more than anybody else. We got Brett Favre throwing more interceptions than anybody else. Man, look, Packers win more than anybody else. They have more championships than anyone else, and their quarterbacks go big more than anyone else. That's
You're dang right.
Roll.
Now, I also, before we make our final projections, as Jake has already dropped in, Packers upset the Eagles. Jordan Love legacy game incoming. That's what I'm talking about, Jake. We need more of that. Is Mike McCarthy coaching the Bears next year?
God, I hope so. God, I hope so. And look, I think Mike's a good coach, and it'll be a battle, and it'll be amazing.
I do too.
Just the narrative of it.
Yes.
Just the constant narrative of it. Mike being back in the division with that team, famously getting on board that bomber back in the day, saying, let's go bomb Chicago. Like, all of it, man. I hope so. I really do. I think it'd be so much fun.
It would just be so great. I said it earlier today, the Packers fans would be giddy. I got a little bit of pushback. Like, I don't know why. He's a good coach.
It'd just be fun, man. It would just
be so much fun.
It's all entertainment.
And I know there's a lot of people that don't. So still like Mike McCarthy. Like I do still have a lot of personal affinity for Mike McCarthy. I know some people trash me for it on the talking text line. However, you know what? He is one of the only human beings. I think he's the only guy to coach the Green Bay Packers and the Dallas Cowboys. We're talking about two. He could have three of the pillar organizations of the NFL.
National Football League.
He is extremely respected around coaching circles. And I'll tell you this, the Chicago Bears could do a whole lot worse than hiring Mike McCarthy.
And
some people will,
and let's be honest, they probably will.
They probably will. Yeah, they probably will because they won't do it.
Bears.
And I just love it. I'd like it for the conversations, the back and forths of it. It would just be,
absolutely incredible.
And then Rodgers comes back and plays quarterback for the Vikings.
All right, relax. All right, relax. Okay, let's come back from La La Land. I mean, let's talk about our predictions for this game because I do think, the Packers can shock the world, and I do think they're going to. They're going to run the ball. They're going to play their cleanest game in a month plus. And look, I know Philly's really good. There's zero doubt about that. They are an excellent football team. But the Packers haven't played their best, and they're going to shock the world on Sunday afternoon.
The Packers have not had the advantage of being slept on all year long. They have played really tight the last 5 weeks.
Correct.
They finally play loose. They have a lead in the fourth quarter and win that son of a gun. And Jake Elliott missed 55-yard field goal to tie is how this thing ends. 34-31 Green Bay.
Cray. I think it's a little closer, or a little lower than that. I'm going to go 27-24.
I like that.
McManus at the end to win it.
Brandon McManus had the opportunity, was going to have a great
should have had a walk-off there if they managed the clock right. But
let's make that walk-off this week, and guess what? I'm not going to be upset about it. I've been loading, and my friends and I, my buddy and I have been loading a Philadelphia first-round exit. I would be a hypocrite if at this point I backed away from it.
I mean,
powder keg blows up on that sideline.
You're just being consistent. Although I do recall all offseason having to talk you down about the Eagles being the best team in the league. I do recall that.
Oh, yeah, I was on that. Yeah, and then I didn't anticipate
high on the Eagles this summer, man. You were
big
high
time
on the Eagles. Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why it's so impressive that the Packers are going to go in and win round one in the playoffs.
Clearly.
They're one of the best teams in the NFL, and the Packers state the claim to being one of them as well by beating them on Sunday.
Can't wait
to. And
cannot wait.
It continues this program. It continues this thing rolling through.
Keep going another week.
Got to earn it. Got to
earn our right to be back.
Got to earn our right to be back here on this microphone next week.
I suspect.
I think we're back.
We got to talk to Red Hot Tim Scott, but I suspect that we would have a post-mortem show. Like if they do lose on Sunday, I suspect we wrap things up on Tuesday, but maybe not. I'm not sure.
I would think so, but who knows? You know what? we take that out of anybody else's hands. We take away the interpretation. We don't leave it up to interpretation. Win, and you're in for another Carry the G.
I love it.
All right, Nags, I'll see you next week, brother.
See you next week, brother. That's what I'm talking about. Go, Pack, go.
Go, Pack, go. That's Aaron Nagler. I'm Billy Schmid. It's been Carry the G Radio on Cheesehead TV and 97.3 The Game.